Joomla makes creating items in your website really easy. And in this session, we're going to look at how Joomla does that. So if we click New, we're given a list of options that we can make menu assignments out of, whether it be an internal link, external link, separator, or alias. In the internal links, we have articles, contacts, news feeds, polls, search, user, web links, and a wrapper. If I click on articles, I'm now given 5 options. Is it an archive list? Is it a single article? And again, you can look at the little yellow pop-ups for help. Is it a submission layout? In other words, if this person's logged in and allowed to submit an article, then they need to see this menu item. Is it a category blog layout or list layout? A blog layout looks like this. Number of articles with full and intro text showing. And again, you've already seen how we can set that up. Is it a category list layout? And all that does is it lists all of the articles from a particular category in the order that I tell it to. Is it a front page blog layout? Well, we've already looked at that. And finally, section blog and section layout are the same thing as the category blog and the category list layout, where all of the articles in a section are laid out by a blog in a blog order or in a list order by category. In this one, let's go ahead and select article layout. The first thing I usually do is select the article because I've already written it. In this case, I'm going to pick Joomla Overview, and I know I've already got a menu to this, so that's okay. I'm just going to type in Overview. I'm going to let Joomla set the alias for me. I don't need to change the link because Joomla already fills that in for me. I'm going to put this in the main menu, and I'm going to make it a parent item. It's going to be published, public, and open in the same window. Now let's take a look at parameters. We're going to look at this more closely in session 22, but for now let me just say this. Joomla allows you to set globally how your articles are displayed. You do that through the global parameters under the content menu. But Joomla also allows you to override that in 2 different areas. Number 1 is the menu, which we're looking at now, and number 2 is in the article itself. So if you've set up your article parameters, if you've set up your global parameters but you want one particular area to look a little different, you can do that right here in the menu layout. So, for instance, if in general my articles do not have links in their titles, I can change that for this menu for all of the articles in this layout to say this one is going to be linkable. If I have in my parameters that the author name, creation date, and modified date is to be shown, I can say, no, you know what, for this article, just go ahead and hide all of that. And you can do that for all of them. We'll talk more about that in session 22. Under parameters, I can give this a page title. Click yes to show the page title. Joomla also allows, if you know CSS, to set up different ways individual pages can be styled. If you have a suffix set up in your template to style this page, you can just put that suffix in there. Do I have a menu image for this? I'm not going to choose menu images for this. And is it SSL enabled? Off, ignore, or on? I'm going to say ignore. Click Save. And now I have an overview menu item pointing to an article. It's ID number 53, and Joomla automatically puts it at the bottom. So if I come back over to my home page, I now have a new menu item, and it takes me directly to that article. And notice a few things here. The title is linked. There's no information about who wrote it or when it was modified. Exactly how our parameter overrides should have worked. And that's how you link to an article.